From the Oklahoma Newsroom, this is an OSU update. I'm Jenny Carlson here with John Helsley. John, the Cowboys have made it to October, and they get an off week this weekend after their non-conference games and that Big 12 opener at Texas Tech a week ago. Well, and also TCU. I guess they've played twice now that I think about it. But 5 games in, what do we feel like we know about this team at this point?
Well, I think some of the things we know we already knew. It's a good offensive team with a lot of playmakers, different guys that can really have an impact on the offensive side. Mason Rudolph's having a nice year. We all expected that. James Washington. Justice Hill has developed into not only a better running back maybe than he was as a freshman, but seems to be a workhorse now too. 25 carries and then 30 carries this past weekend, so 55 carries the last couple of weeks. A lot of those things we knew about the offense. The defense, I think, has played better than expected. So the other thing we know is that probably an unfortunate thing for the Cowboys right now, they have to get back into the college football playoff hunt.
Yeah, that's true. What about the unknowns at this point? I mean, it seems like a lot of what we know is really on the offensive side, but do you feel like there's some still question marks out there for this team?
I think there are. They've had some injuries on the offensive line. They have to make sure and get those shored up. They were able to patch it together against Texas Tech and win that game. I think there's some issues right now in the red zone, whether it was a one-week thing or something that really needs to be looked at. They haven't been great there. And can they kick a field goal when they have to kick a field goal?
Yeah, and that is a big question. Let's talk about that for just a second. Is there any feeling that they might be looking at a move in those short field goals? I mean, it's nearly an extra point, John, but the angle, I guess, maybe that's the problem. Is there any talk that they might be looking at a switch at that short field goal range?
Right now, no. Mike Gundy said on the Big 12 teleconference Monday that they were sticking with Matt Amendola. He's their guy. And, he's been a good kicker, as you mentioned, from longer distances, but he missed 2 really close field goals at Texas Tech. Really momentum shifters, I felt like, in that game. I wouldn't put it totally to rest, though. I think this is probably fluid, and they'll probably, have to see how this goes week to week.
Or maybe they start going for those short 4th and whatevers down towards the goal line. I mean, maybe that becomes the other option. It
could be, and I think maybe there was an argument you could have made at Texas Tech to go for those anyway. I mean, those one of those was inside the 1. If you punch it in, you get a touchdown there, and if you don't, the other team has to go 99 yards. So I think there were a lot of fans, especially, ready for the Cowboys to go for that one.
All right, an off week for the Cowboys. They get back at it next week, but be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoma.